there's something strange that many people do. Two people, two completely different days. One just got a promotion, the one she's been waiting for years, the one that changes everything. The other just got a message, a relationship that ended. The one you read and feel the ground disappear. Nothing to do with each other, but both do exactly the same thing that night. They open the refrigerator, one celebrates with food, eats what she always wanted, orders from that expensive restaurant, the one she allowed herself because she deserved it. The other tries to forget with food, opens the fridge, closes it, opens it again, takes a little of everything, not because she's hungry, because she's trying to fill something that isn't physical. Same action, completely opposite emotions. And maybe you've done that too. You woke up happy, looked for something sweet to celebrate. You got anxious, opened the fridge every 5 minutes, not knowing what you wanted. You got bad news, ordered the comfort food, the one that makes the pain feel smaller. So here's the question. If such different emotions lead to the same action, are we really eating because we're hungry? Or are we trying to feed something else? Most of our behaviors seem rational, but add intense emotion, and our brain makes decisions we don't realize we're making. Here at PSYNORY, we explore the invisible patterns of human behavior. Because understanding people starts with understanding yourself. Maybe the obvious answer is simple. We eat because we're weak, because we lack discipline, because we're greedy. It makes sense. So you open the fridge, grab what you shouldn't, think, tomorrow I'll diet. But usually it's not that, because there's a detail almost no one notices. When you open that refrigerator, you're rarely looking for food. You're looking for relief, and that changes everything. Understand this fundamental thing. Not every urge to eat comes from an empty stomach. This is important. Sometimes it comes from a mind that's full, overflowing with anxiety, drowning in loneliness, heavy with sadness. Your stomach can be completely satisfied. You just had lunch. It hasn't even been an hour. But then that urge appears. The one that doesn't disappear just because you think, I'm not hungry. Because you're not hungry. You have something else. You have an emotion that's asking to be interrupted. That's screaming. That needs something right now. And your brain learned a quick way to do that. A way that works, that relieves, that offers pause. But how did the brain learn this? Since childhood, you fall, you cry, someone offers candy. The pain doesn't disappear, but your attention shifts. That taste on your tongue, that moment of sweetness in a moment of pain. Your brain registers this exchange. Pain plus food, less pain. You grow up, but that association travels with you. It travels from childhood all the way to today, when you're 20, 30, 40 years old. That childhood learning is still there, silent, invisible, but deeply encoded. And every time an uncomfortable emotion appears, every time anxiety knocks, every time you feel not enough, part of your brain whispers, remember the trick that worked when you were little? And you reach for the fridge. You think it's hunger, but it's memory. It's your child self still living inside you, still carrying that ancient knowledge. That food equals safety. That food equals being taken care of. But this is where it gets interesting, because not every emotion asks for the same type of food. That's what almost no one notices. This is what separates someone who understands themselves from someone stuck in the cycle. See the difference. Sadness asks for one thing. Anxiety asks for another. Anger asks for something else. Each emotion has developed its own language with food. Each emotion has its own protocol. And once you understand which emotion drives which hunger, you start to see the pattern. Let's start with sadness. When you're sad, your brain doesn't look for nutrition, it looks for quick reward. Dopamine, a chemical spike that says something good is happening. That's why people eat sweets when they're sad, not because they're hungry, because sugar offers an instant hit. You put chocolate in your mouth, your tongue tastes it. 5 seconds later, your brain has registered pleasure. The sadness is still there. The person who hurt you is still gone. The loss is still real. Nothing was solved. But for a few minutes, you stopped thinking about it. Your brain's attention shifted. The sugar captured all the resources. That's why people say, "I deserve it. My day was terrible. I deserve chocolate. My relationship ended. I deserve pizza." But you're not earning the chocolate. You're offering yourself relief, a small truce with the pain, a few minutes where you don't have to feel it quite so sharply. That's not weakness. That's intelligence. That's your brain finding a solution in a moment of desperation. Now, anxiety. When you're anxious, you're not looking for dopamine. You're looking for release. You're full of adrenaline, heart pounding, body tense, muscles tight. Your mind is 3 steps ahead, imagining everything that could go wrong. Your nervous system is in overdrive. Your body needs to discharge that energy somehow. That's why anxious people eat things that require chewing: gum, nuts, chips, cereal, ice. Anything you can put in your mouth and chew. Chew and chew and chew. There's a rhythm to it, a predictability. Chewing is action, rhythmic movement. It's something your hands can do, something your jaw can do, something physical in a moment when everything feels out of control. It consumes the nervous energy, burns off adrenaline, reduces cortisol. It doesn't solve the anxiety. The thing making you anxious is still there. The email you sent is still sent. The decision you're waiting on is still pending. The presentation is still coming. But your nervous system stops thinking it's catastrophe. The pressure releases. The explosion is delayed. You can breathe. That's all your body needs in that moment. Then there's anger. Anger splits into 2 completely different types of people. Some people unload everything on food when they're angry. They eat constantly. They eat a lot, like filling an internal void, like pushing something down. Others lose their appetite completely. They can't eat. The thought of food makes them feel sick. Same emotion, 2 completely opposite responses. Why? Because each body regulates stress differently. For some, eating is self-preservation. The body says, "It's not safe to act here. It's not safe to fight. I'm going to feed myself. That's safe." For others, the nervous system is in fight mode, primed, ready. The body wants to run or fight. Digestion is secondary. So what matters isn't whether you eat or not when angry. What matters is both responses are trying to do the same thing, regulating a dangerous emotion, bringing you back to safety, even if in opposite ways. When you're bored, there's just emptiness, a void. Your mind wanders, spins, looks for literally anything to grab onto. Anxiety would at least give you something to focus on. Sadness would at least mean something mattered. But boredom is nothing, just gray time stretching ahead. So you eat without hunger. You're not feeding your body, you're offering your brain stimulation, taste, texture, movement, aroma, anything that isn't the void, because boredom is unbearable in a quiet way. It doesn't scream, it whispers, and you fill it with the only quick thing that works, the only thing guaranteed to interrupt the nothing and make you feel something. If you like understanding why you do what you do, if you've caught yourself opening the refrigerator without knowing why, if you've ever felt trapped by an urge you can't explain, this channel was made for you. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episodes. The real urge to eat because of emotion is never about food. Never. It's about relief. It's about reducing the intensity of a feeling that's unbearable in that moment. It's about asking your nervous system to step back from the edge. And that changes everything. Everything you thought you knew about yourself. Because it means you're not weak. Your brain isn't broken. Your brain isn't defective. Your brain is actually doing something remarkable. Your brain is excellent at recognizing emotional pain and finding solutions. Creative solutions. Fast solutions. Solutions that work. Solutions that bring relief. Is it the best solution? No. Is it the healthiest? No. A therapist would recommend other options. A doctor would tell you to exercise. A nutritionist would say eat vegetables. They're not wrong, but they're also not drowning right now. They're not desperate. They're not in pain. But you are. So your brain uses the most effective tool it knows. And in that moment, effective is all that matters. So next time you feel that urge that appears from nowhere, that urge that makes you feel out of control, that urge that you judge yourself for, that urge that you hate yourself for having, ask yourself one silent question before opening the refrigerator. One simple question that changes everything. Am I hungry for food? Or am I trying to feel something else? This small question is powerful, more powerful than you might think, because when you can finally name what you're really looking for, when you see clearly that it's relief, not food, when you recognize that it's an emotion at the door, not an empty stomach, when you can see that you're not broken, you're just surviving. Something shifts inside you. It's not magic. You don't stop wanting to eat immediately. The urge doesn't disappear. But now you understand it. And understanding changes everything. Now you have a choice. You can open the refrigerator knowing exactly why. Knowing you're looking for relief. Knowing you're not weak. Knowing it's just a pattern. An old pattern. And then you decide, I'm going to eat and it's okay. Without guilt, without shame, because you know what you're really doing. Or try something else. Breathe deeply, go outside, write it down, dance, move your body, move, something that also offers relief without food. The real question isn't, how do I stop eating? It's, what do I really need right now? Sometimes the answer is food, and that's okay. You're not weak. You're trying to survive the moment. What changes is awareness, knowing it's not weakness. It's just a pattern, a survival pattern. And patterns, once you see them, are hard not to see. Maybe that's the beginning. Not perfection, not fixing yourself, but understanding. And sometimes understanding is enough, because now you know, and now that you know, things are never quite the same. The pattern is still there. The urge will come again, but you'll see it coming, and that changes everything.